understood and you don't make mistakes and refer to things that don't make sense. So next to me, I've got my learned friends here who will really assist me in terms of explaining further in terms of how we want to move forward. First of all, thank you very much, members of media, for gracing us with your presence today. Though it was a short notice, we appreciate your support all the time. We have called you here to give you an update in terms of how far we've gone in terms of our transformation and ensuring that we are taking this club to the promised land to transform. You will remember that after the constitution was accepted by the relevant authorities, BMT, it was signed off, then we were allowed to go ahead and do our transformation. One of the most important programs we engaged on was the engagement with our funds. That's when we started engaging with our members, and the registration of members began in the first week of January 2022. That program is ongoing. It's very interesting to see the numbers that are coming out of that registration. But let me remind you all and remind our members who are watching that one of the biggest reasons why we engage in this process, other than the subscription of members, is to ensure that we comply with the constitution, that young Africans shall have members that will be registered, pay subscription, and become legal members of this club. So in that respect, we are excited that the progress is going, the progress of ensuring that people are registering themselves. Secondly, there was a compliance that we received from Tanzania Football Federation. The compliance order was very straightforward. By end of June 2022, all the requirements that are in the new constitution of Young African Sports Club must be complied with. Meaning if we said that we will have a rice, we will have this, all those things must be done by end of June 2022. So in that regard, there are a number of steps that we needed to do to ensure that by that time the date comes, we're able to fulfill that. One of that was to ensure that we put in motion the processes around the constitution and the elections. On the 4th of February 2022, the executive committee under the leadership of Dr. Msola elected a committee to engage in the process of elections of the club. If I may say and confirm, this was also shared with the media that Mr. Mchungayela will be the chairman of the committee. He will be assisted by Advocate Mangesho, Advocate Mapunda, Advocate Mwakinge, and Ndungu Yasir. These are the 5 members of this committee. This committee is also assisted through the secretariat by Mr. Advocate Patrick Simon, who's also the director of members and legal affairs of the club. And the CEO of the club is a permanent secretary of this committee. So this is an independent committee that is responsible to ensure that we get to the 30th of June without any hassles. So Chairman Mchungayela is here to give us his mchakato and his committee in terms of how we're going to get to a process where we are able to say these are our new members, this is a new way of doing things at the club before the end of June 2022. Let me also make mention that these processes are not meant to have any disturbances in terms of how the club is being managed. These are the legal compliance that we need to adhere to so that we get to the final day. So as Hassan has mentioned, one of the things we will do today is to issue the certificates of compliance. So the branches that have reached the requirements to say you must have 100 members plus. So I'm very excited that today we'll be presenting 5 certificates, and the rest of the certificates will be available to all the complying branches, and they will be sent. And those that can come and pick up, they will pick up. And I know that there's a big question about the rest of the cards for our members. It's very exciting news I have as well. We will announce that before the end of the conference.